welcome to the 13th floor. I'm Marty Duda. Today, it's Karl Kippenberger of Shihad, or formerly of Shihad.
Yes.
Is that how it is?
Ex-Shihad.
How's that feeling?
Yeah, it's feeling, well, retirement is it feels the same, actually. We're actually really busy still.
Yep, I get that. Well, that's why you're here.
Yeah, totally.
Man, the reason we're here is we're talking about this, which is the vinyl release of Love is the New Hate. First time on vinyl, is it?
Yep, 20 years.
Very good.
Vinyl was very uncool in 2004,
yeah, I know.
2005.
Yeah, it's suddenly had a resurgence.
Yeah,
but before we talk about that, we got to talk about Ozzy.
For sure.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
Because I've been listening to Sabotage all day long because it just came out 50 years ago. It was like yesterday. I bought it when it came out.
Yeah.
That's the one I got. But anyway, you guys actually opened for Sabbath several times.
Yep.
And the band, just before you joined, actually covered a Sabbath tune as well. If I'm not
Yep,
mistaken.
they did. I remember I brought, on the day that Devolve came out in 1991, I think, I bought it at our local record store up in Paraparaumu, up north of Wellington, and I remember ringing Tom that day and going, oh my God, I got your new EP, it sounds amazing.
Right.
But yeah, that had The Wizard on it. But yeah, Ozzy, we
So you got to have at least one story you can tell.
well, we did the end tour, I think, which was
in 2013.
Yeah, which wasn't. I don't know if that was quite the end.
No, but it was nobody cared because we just want to hear the song. And
No,
I saw
totally.
the show. They sounded great because I saw Black Sabbath back in '72.
Oh wow,
They were terrible. They were stoned out of their mind. They couldn't. They barely stand up, let alone play. Whereas the tour you were doing at the show I saw at the Spark Arena or Vector, whatever it was called, fantastic.
It was fantastic, wasn't it? And I think it's funny because you have I guess you might, as a band, you have a bucket list of the bands you want to play with through your life. You know, we got to play with Metallica and AC/DC and all that stuff.
Yep.
And I actually felt there might have been like one, you know, Rolling Stones might have been on that list, and Led Zeppelin that we never did. But I actually never thought that Black Sabbath would play again, to be able to have an opportunity to actually play with them.
Yeah.
So the fact that we got asked to do it, it wasn't just New Zealand, it was Australasia, so we got to do all those Australian shows as well. No, it was fantastic. I mean, I don't have any saucy stories or anything really, because I mean, Ozzy, he's shuffling a lot. He was shuffling
is
along.
the word, right? That's what he did. He was shuffling when I met him in '81.
But he was, you know, for what he's put himself through, he was incredibly active. And I think even at Spark, I remember he had his gym and he had his exercycle, and he was on that exercycle, you know, on and off for about an hour before he went on stage.
Yeah.
So he was serious about trying to get fit, as much as he looked like he was. You know, it was hard work, and I'm sure it was. But probably the fondest memory I have was probably in Sydney when we ended up hanging out while Sabbath were on stage. We ended up in the catering with Kelly Osbourne, and she was just chatting to us about, I mean, just their relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, I never really, I mean, apart from maybe watching the Osbournes as bits and pieces and just seeing interspersed. But just seeing the tenderness, obviously, that there is between father and daughter, and she just said that she's not, when she's at the show, she has a walkie-talkie, and she's not allowed to leave it because he wants to be able to be in contact with her at all times, you know. And so when he's walking off, you know, so when you're watching him and he goes off stage. He's going to sit down and he's talking to his daughter. Going, did you see that? What did you think? You know, and she was kind of going, I feel bad, because she goes, I feel like I have to watch.
Right.
Because he always asks, he's always quizzing her on, what did you think of this and what did you think of that? So, you know, it's not really a rock and roll story of sorts, but I just thought,
no, that's pretty cool.
As a family story, and you know, you see all of the celebrityism and all that stuff, but in essence, it was a beautiful, beautiful story.
Now, speaking of fond memories, do you have fond memories of making this record?
Yeah, I mean, looking back generally, nostalgically, you have fond memories, don't you?
Because the band was kind of in a weird place at that point,
yeah,
right?
and it's funny because knowing that we were releasing this and knowing that I'd have to actually talk about it, I did start thinking this week.
Sorry about that.
Well, you start putting yourself back there,
right?
You know, start with your retrospective, hopefully more experienced mind, and look back and maybe have a bit more of an idea of what was going on. And yeah, we were I wouldn't say we're at our dysfunctional worst.
Right.
We'd probably just hit that with pacifier.
Yeah.
You know, many things drew it to that. But yeah, we were definitely, I mean, we literally changed our name back to Shihad the morning that we flew over to Canada, which was deliberate so that we wouldn't have to deal with what would come after that. But generally it was positive response, but still it's just like, oh, here we go, change your undies kind of vibe. But yeah, and I look back and, you know, I think the real important bit about creating that album was that we did go to a farm in the middle of New Zealand, Namatea. It's like a 30,000 hectare station, takes up about the same space as Lake Taupo, just south of there. And we were there 2 jaunts, maybe for a few weeks, and we just were isolated on this farm, and we wrote the bulk of Love Is New Hate there. And I think that was a real good focus for us to come back from the LA experience, which kind of rinsed us out, all of us, you know, to varying degrees. And it kind of, we came back under the Shihad thing, and you know, and as we were writing this stuff, we were going, this sounds like a Shihad riff, eh?
Yeah.
And we were realising that we were just kind of bringing that back in, which is, thank goodness we changed it back. But yeah, it was a way for us to get back together creatively, and to be ragey and heavy in a desolate landscape, you know, having Mount Ruapehu there, and not much else. It was a dramatic. I mean, I think Empty Shell used to be called Desert Boulder, which was kind of came from the landscape that we'd wake up to every morning. So I think that gave us good steed. But yeah,
because I was listening to All the Young Fascists. Man, you guys sound angry.
Yeah.
It comes right through.
But I think Johnny's saying the F word like 5 times in the first line.
Fuck the four walls that you're stuck with, fucking. Yeah, we got different opinions, we're fucking. Last chance for a chance to bring it down, lay it low. They talk the talk, and the last day's coming. I don't believe a fucking word of it, nothing. Be our kid, be our king. Right now you should know. And taking all the colors away, put it back together.
We did want to come out with a lot of venom after Pacifier, you know. I think we wanted to reclaim ourselves.
Right.
You know, as much as whether we needed to or not. But
Gotcha. So 20 years later, you're playing around with the record again.
Yep.
So what has that been like for you? How involved are you in the reissue? And I assume you had another listen to it.
Yeah, we get
recently?
I get sent test pressing. Obviously there's emails, threads going through with Warner's and stuff about scheduling and stuff and our input and how we want the art, all that stuff, repressing, reissue, and then turn up for the interviews.
Yes.
But yeah, it's really, I mean, I had a good listen to it when I got the test pressing, and it's funny because you go out onto it, you probably play you try and play all of them, but then in the end you play like 6 songs. Next album you're playing like 3.
Right. Yep.
By 4 albums later, we're lucky. We're trying to just get one.
Yep.
Trying to get one song off this album, which was definitely All the Young Fascists or Empty Shell. For I think as a band collective is the 2 kind of live tracks that we like. But I mean, I quite love Dark Time.
Well, I know what's right, but it's getting hard to face the world in these dark times. But I'll stick with it, 'cause I'm alive. There's a fire in my heart that will not die.
I think that had a lot of power.
Right.
I mean, the other weird thing for me is my dad died. I mean, we buried him literally 2 days before we released that record, and when we did the Aotea Square thing, so that's all quite a blur.
Yep.
I know I did it because I've seen the video.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I was completely sober. It's not like I was.
No.
I missed it in my head. It's just it was a blur.
Yeah. And when you listen back, do you hear, you go, oh, I wish we didn't do that, or we should have done this, or I would love to also
little
include
things.
this?
It's like Killing Jazz, which was meant to be like a fuck you, Jaz Coleman.
My old flatmate.
Look, it's called. Oh no, it's called Traitor. We changed it in the end.
That's
Traitor.
right, Killing.
I know, we called it Traitor, but it used to be called Killing Jazz.
Because Jaz was your first producer, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, and it was the bad taste in our mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a great album.
Yep.
We did a great sounding album tune, and we learned so much with Jaz. But then it got a bit sour for whatever reason. He was 30 and got pretty drunk.
He can be hard work.
Did you know him back then?
Not back then, because I didn't get here until '94.
Yeah.
But he actually lived with me for a few months.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Across the street by accident.
Well, that happens, doesn't it?
It did happen.
That happens. I mean, I sang the Five Eyes with Jaz Coleman at 50 something.
Yep.
He was, he wasn't drinking anymore.
Yeah.
And he was a way more rounded.
Yep.
Happier person. I mean, he was in a post-punk band and he was angry.
Yep.
So when we met him at 30, he was all about himself. That was part of his character as well. So we had to put up with that as much as there was beautiful things that happened with our relationship. And in the end, we all pulled it together. And I love Jaz. But I look back at that and I kind of go, we spent all that energy on a song. I mean, the music's great, and then we spent this energy on a song to hate.
Yep.
To tell Jaz we hate him.
Right.
3 albums later, we're doing another album. So I look back at that and I kind of go, okay.
He was just probably just happy to be remembered.
He would like this as well because it's all drama.
Right. Yeah.
It's the great argument. If we can sell tickets to the. I mean, I remember when we were at our lowest ebb with Jaz. I remember he talked to Tom and he goes, well, let's do the great debate on the Millennium on Great Barrier Island, Shihad versus Jaz Coleman. Who would want to play?
I love your imitation to Jaz. I just had a friend over yesterday. She worked with him.
Yeah.
She does the exact same imitation.
I love him and I miss him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
And then with those Five Eyes stuff, he did amazing stuff. And we were mature enough to let him be the conduit.
Yep.
That, you were there at the listening session.
Yep.
You were one of the first ears out of the studio to hear what we were doing.
Yeah.
And you saw the excitement, especially of Jaz. I mean, he loves to.
Yes, he does.
Together. But you were there. There's an energy that he can.
Definitely, there is an energy, no doubt about it. So, how are you feeling about the band? I mean, the band was on and off anyway. Being in a band is like that. You're not always on. So, how's it feeling? Is it different now?
It's weird because it's still. I don't feel like I've rested.
Right. Yeah.
I think I don't feel like I've had a space in my head. I guess I've had a physical space because we haven't played since March.
Yeah.
But it's But yeah, like we were saying, we've got releases. We've got assets that we need to do something with.
Right. You just keep doing anniversary releases.
We've got businesses that we need to think about whether we need them or not.
Right.
And so there's all that boring admin stuff, but we need to think about how Shihad looks in 12 months. What that may mean. And,
sure.
Whether it just goes to caretaker mode. I mean, I feel like, I know Tom and I really want to keep active with, especially with the vinyl stuff, but also just any other kind of nostalgic or, I don't know, I mean, I did a lot of the artwork, I did the artwork on that, and I'd love to get together some kind of artwork exhibition thing or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's just so much stuff,
and
I think with the right vision and just, and us talking to our label and just getting that stuff out, I think there's going to be some real fun stuff that we can do. It's super sad that we're not writing new songs.
Yeah.
Super sad that we don't get to play any shows together. I think in all honesty, the hardest thing for me is probably not playing with my drummer.
Right. Yeah. So you think about doing anything else music-wise?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think on the end of our tour, there was a lot, I get, but, not cocky, but I'm definitely like, what's next? Come on.
Yeah.
I think for a while there I was going to join Deftones because I went, heck, if Shihad's over, then
Yep.
Who do I want to be in? And literally the two bands was The Cure and Deftones, which I mean Simon Gallup will never leave The Cure, and I mean in the Deftones have got themselves a new bass player, but it was that kind of thing. It was like actually I want to challenge myself more, you know. I'm not in the Deftones, so that didn't work out. But there's a bunch of musicians in this country that I was chatting to on the tour, and you know, from other bands and other projects, and they're really keen to do something heavy.
Yep.
Because their kind of music isn't that heavy, but they all grew up with the same sort of stuff. So yeah, and I think something a bit more colourful, and yeah, I just felt after a couple of months I think I need to be playing music.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now you mentioned the cover and the artwork.
Yeah.
And I was thinking when I saw it, it's actually works really well with the music. There's something about the Mantis that gets that across. So tell me how that came.
We've always played with beautiful, aggressive, or that idea. I mean, beautiful machine.
Right.
You know, just things that are the juxtapositions, and there's something incredibly beautiful about the praying mantis. But she eats her fucking partner. And it's like,
that's true.
I don't know where that happened. Now, I'll tell you what, my mate Rob Zorab, he was the guy who was the mate of ours that we got to do the photos, and weirdly enough he had a flatmate that was breeding mantises.
Of course.
So it all worked out. But you know how long it takes you to try and get a photo of the act? It's like, it happens in seconds.
Right.
Like, the head's off,
right.
Fucking half the body's eaten, it's gone. And it's like he said it was about the 8th, I think it was the 8th like male that got sorted before he actually got a photo of being able to get it like kind of in that crunch chop, fall off bit, a little bit left. But this is before.
Yes. That is before.
This is love. So yeah, I guess love is the new hate. I mean, it was because brown is the new black. And we were just like, it was that whole, that fashion-y thing where just regurgitating the same shit, but just giving it a new name.
Yep.
And I think that was us just, love is the new hate was just playing on opposites again. And then, yeah, once we found the idea of that artwork, it was like, this is perfect. And then I didn't need much guidance on that, and then we just made sure we had enough Mantis shots to. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Insects in rock and roll. I just watched the John and Yoko documentary that's going to be at the film festival.
Oh yeah, great.
Of them in 71, 72 in New York.
Yeah.
And throughout it, Yoko was working on something with flies. She needed live flies, breeding them. So they keep cutting back and forth. Yoko and whoever chasing these flies down throughout the course of the documentary. It was totally bizarre, but it's kind of like you and your mantises or manti.
Yeah.
Is it manti or mantises?
Manti.
But anyway, yeah. Well, so how many of these bad boys do you press up at one shot?
I think about 1,000, 1,200. I think.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think there's the Mantis Green.
Okay.
Which I think is a limited. Maybe.
The vinyl's green.
Yeah, there's a limited green.
All right.
And then there's the trusty black.
Yes.
And it's 150 grams because the quality's good.
Yep.
So you don't really need to go 180.
No.
These days, and luckily enough, we didn't have super long albums, so we're not stretching the fidelity by trying to add a 20th song to our album. In fact, we're always big about trying to minimise. Yeah. I guess 40-something minutes.
Get it over with. That's good.
40-something minutes.
That's enough.
Yeah, we're kind of always about that, except the Fish album. But
all right.
Try different things.
Well, thank you for bringing us around. It's very cool. Crank it up upstairs.
Yeah, good time.
Give the neighbors something to bang on the walls about.
Yeah.
That's what it's for, yeah.
That's what happens when you eat too much fast food and you've got to come back to New Zealand and then realise you've got to write a heavy record.
Yeah, all right. Well, good luck with it, and good luck with all the other stuff, and hope to see you on stage somewhere with a drummer somewhere soon. And keep happy.
Cheers, thank you.